report late last night from Adam Schefter that the New Orleans Saints are expected to hire Kellen Moore. Now, all things considered, this is really good news, but no pen to paper. It is not official yet. Things can still change, but this is what we've been saying the entire time. So really quick reminder, subscribe to the channel because no matter what, when this news is made official, we're going live on the channel. We're going to celebrate, we're going to break it down, and we're going to discuss everything you need to know as a fan around Kellen Moore and the New Orleans Saints. So be sure to subscribe. We're right at the cusp of 41,000 subscribers, and next 42, then 43, then 44, up to 50K. All right, let's talk about it. Adam Schefter. He reports about 10:40 last night, puts out an article on ESPN, reports it on X a little bit earlier than that. Kellen Moore is expected to become the New Orleans Saints head coach, barring any unexpected developments, league sources told ESPN. So barring any unexpected developments. So they do not expect this to be a problem. They do not expect any sort of crazy things to pop up. They don't expect anything to cause a setback. But, ultimately, you should expect Kellen Moore to be the head coach. And, I think that this is a good move. I think this is a good decision. And I think that he will be a good head coach for the New Orleans Saints. Why is this expected to hire? Why is this not he's hired? Well, Kellen Moore, he cannot technically be hired and officially hired until after the Super Bowl. And realistically, it was until after the Eagles were eliminated from playoff contention. They're in the Super Bowl. This pushes things back. Now, with Kellen Moore, I love the offensive mind that he's going to bring. I love the high football IQ. I love that he was a player. I love that he was a successful player in the college level, and he knows how to play high-level football. I love that he's able to change his offensive plan to fit the skill set of the weapons on the team. And he's done that in Philadelphia to such a great extent with the likes of Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith. And then, of course, Jalen Hurts. But then don't get it twisted. He also did it in Los Angeles. And he also did it in Dallas. So I really, really like this move. But let's go back to why is this expected and why is this not officially hired? So the Saints can't officially hire him because if they try to give the league any sort of reason to think that they're tampering, the league is going to investigate this. And if you remember, this is actually kind of a funny scenario. The last time the Eagles and the Chiefs played in the Super Bowl, the host city was Phoenix in Arizona, where the Cardinals are. And if you remember, Jonathan Gannon went to the Cardinals, and he became their head coach after leaving Philadelphia. In Arizona, they got penalized and had to give up draft compensation as a result between the tampering of the Cardinals and Jonathan Gannon. So the New Orleans Saints are going to do everything in their power to give the league no reason to think that they have any sort of suspicion around tampering or any sort of reason to put the New Orleans Saints in the crosshairs of the National Football League. They've been there before. Didn't necessarily go in the favor of the New Orleans Saints, so they want to avoid that, and I think that's a smart thing, especially considering you got to rebuild and get things right and get things going for the future. It's hard to do that when you're getting penalized and losing draft picks. So a couple interesting notes here. Kellen Moore, he was interested in the Saints job. He wants the Saints job. Report from Adam Schefter, Moore is expected to have his salary more than doubled and possibly tripled. Tell me that, what doesn't say that the New Orleans Saints want Kellen Moore about that? I mean, you are doubling or tripling this guy's salary. That, to me, says we want you in our organization. And then, to take it a step further, Kellen Moore privately has told people he's interested and wants this Saints job. That report coming from Adam Schefter. I think that this is, all roads have been pointing to Kellen Moore for the last few weeks. Sure, you missed out on Joe Brady. Sure, you missed out on Aaron Glenn. Sure, Mike Vrabel, Ben Johnson, never really realistic options or opportunities. I think Kellen Moore is a great option. I think he's a great consolation prize for all of those things. We're going to talk about the youth movement here in a second. we got to give a big shout out to Game Time, today's presenting sponsor. I absolutely love Game Time. If you guys are going to this game right here, if you guys want to get tickets to Jazz Fest, to any sort of event going on in your area, whether you're out in New Orleans, whether you're out here in Texas like me, whether you're up in the Northeast, up in Boston, or out in Seattle, I don't care where you are. Game Time has got you covered. If you like going to live events, whether it's concerts, comedy shows, theater, anything like that, anything in between, Game Time has tickets. And we can actually get you $20 off your first purchase. If you use code CHATSPORTS, you get $20 off your first purchase when you download the Game Time app. Terms do apply with that, just for the record. Game Time also has an awesome feature called Game Time Picks. Filters out the fluff to, just show you the tickets that you're truly interested in. That way you don't have to waste time searching through tickets that you're not going to buy. Because, the hardest part for me when I'm buying tickets is just like, man, I know I don't want these super expensive. I'm wanting to spend $150, or I'm wanting to get tickets in this specific section, or I'm wanting to get tickets for this specific deal. Game Time Picks does that for you. It's absolutely amazing. So I highly encourage you to download the Game Time app. I cannot encourage you enough to use the Game Time app, and I cannot commend the Game Time app enough on how excellent their customer service is. They are top of the notch, unbelievable, incredible group of customer service. Like I've had to use it, and I made mistakes, and they helped correct it. Shout out to Game Time. So download the Game Time app. Link is in the comments and description of this video. Shout out to Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Talk youth movement, because us Saints fans, we have been saying for a few years now that we got to get younger. I think all things considered, we want a younger team. We want our roster to not be older. We want a just youth movement around the organization. Well, Kellen Moore will be the youngest head coach in the National Football League. There you go. Again, maybe Kellen Moore isn't Cliff Kingsbury. Maybe he's not Joe Brady. Maybe he's not these guys who at one point in time were within the organization, but they wanted nothing to do with the team now. Maybe at one point in time, the New Orleans Saints were a desirable position. Now they're not. That's the reality of the world we live in. Kellen Moore wants this job. I don't really care what you guys think at home. The facts are that this is one of 32 positions. Kellen Moore wanted this job, reported to say, for a while now at this point. I think that he's going to bring a very good movement in terms of the youth movement. I think he's going to be very helpful in that. He's going to be creative offensively. He's going to know how to build the roster around guys, young players. I think that he also is going to be able to connect with these guys really well. On a human being level, because that is a big part of playing in the National Football League, is the human aspect of these things. I don't think Dennis Allen did a great job of connecting with the players. Darren Rizzi did a tremendous job of connecting with the players. I think Kellen Moore can do that too. Like, don't get me wrong, losing Darren Rizzi is awful. And, Ross Jackson and I, we talked about it to a pretty great extent on Radio Row this past week. It's going to stink to lose to lose Darren Rizzi, no question about it. He's a big, big force in that locker room. But that being said, I think we're going to be okay. I think long-term, this is going to be a good hire. I hope that I'm correct on that. And guess what? If it isn't, we'll try again in a couple years. But, at least for now, I think that this is something that we can all get excited about. The Eagles' offense was very, very good. They were 8th in the NFL with over 367 yards per game. They were 2nd in rushing with over 179 yards per game. And the New Orleans Saints, they were not good in either of those departments this year. So I think Kellen Moore is going to be a good hire. I really like the idea of hiring Kellen Moore. I didn't really want Anthony Weaver. I didn't really want Mike Kafka. I liked the idea of Darren Rizzi, but I wanted Kellen Moore more than I wanted Rizzi. Ultimately we'll never know, or not, we'll never know. We won't know for a few years. We won't really know how things are going to go. So if you want to be optimistic like me, hey, join the train. Have fun. This is a new thing. This is a new era of Saints football. And I think you owe it to yourself to be excited. Ever since Drew Brees and Sean Payton left the organization, it has been pretty much doom and gloom. Outside of a few fun moments with Jameis Winston, it hasn't been all that great. I think this is something for us to all get excited about. I think this is something for the fan base to get excited about. So I hope that you get excited with me. And ultimately, if you're not, I understand it. I get it. You got to see it to believe in it. I understand that part of it. That being said, we are in the new era of Saints football. We're closing the chapters. We're closing the Sean Payton, Drew Brees era. It is done. No more ties. No more we're done. Outside of like the Alvin Kamaras and the Cam Jordans and the Taysom Hills of the roster and the DeMario Davises, that's it. So this new era, I hope it goes well. I hope it's exciting, and I hope you're prepared for it because it can't get much worse than it has been the past year or two. So, Saints fans, I really, really appreciate you for tuning in on an early morning video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And really, again, I wanted to say I appreciate y'all for supporting us over the last handful of years as I've taken over this channel. Just got back from the Super Bowl. You can see the bags under my eyes. I just woke up. I'm exhausted. Haven't even gotten my day started, but I wanted to get you guys informed on the latest around Kellen Moore. He is expected to be the New Orleans Saints' next head coach. Obviously, this report where he's officially hired will come late tonight or early tomorrow morning, maybe Tuesday. I think it'll be very, very quick turnaround. But again, reminder to subscribe. We're going live. We're going to have fun, and I hope to see you guys there. Saints fans, y'all stay golden. We will see you next time.